Thank you guys so much for listening to the Experience Podcast. Don't forget to rate this episode 5 stars and subscribe to the podcast. Guys, we are back. Welcome to the Experience Podcast. Yours truly, Amir, and those of you that can't see us, I got my man Aljay Resngit here with me today. Aljay, thank you so much for coming on, man. Say what's up to the people.
Thank you. It's definitely an honor and pleasure. Thank you for reaching out. I'm excited to be here right now. So let me know what this is like. I don't do this often, but just lay it on me, man.
Well, so the first thing is, why are you here? Tell us a little bit about yourself and what brings you on the experience today.
Cool. So first and foremost, I am just a guy that just wants to get strong and get people strong along my own journey. I own a gym, just a small gym here in San Jose, California, San Jose Barbell, with my partner, Ranbir Sanghera. And I am a competitive powerlifter. I actually been competing for only a little over 2 years, but I've been working out since I was 19 and I'm 32 now. So over 13 years and going strong. But just recently, the past 2, just been competing. And my sole journey in the sport of powerlifting is just to someday hit a world record deadlift.
Nice.
World record deadlift. That's my goal. That's the goal.
That is a beautiful way to start it, because that's the kind of mindset, just to even think that, to have a goal like that, the kind of mindset we want on here. And so my first question to you, when starting to train or when starting to focus on a goal that big, because guys, I will post some videos of Aljay deadlifting. His hashtag is I am deadlift. The dude can lift some serious weight. And so if you could tell someone starting to focus on maybe learning how to deadlift, or if they do deadlift, how to get to a weight we talk about lifting heavy weight. You're lifting more than 3 times your body weight, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A little over 3.5. Yeah. 3.7 right now.
Guys, that's insane. All right. So I have a 550 pound deadlift. This guy is how much you weigh?
165 pounds.
Yeah. And tell us your deadlift.
It is 601.
So that's no joke, guys. I mean, he's putting in some serious work. So if you could tell someone trying to maybe work towards learning how to lift heavy, what would be some things you would recommend?
Cool. First off, I would tell everyone, yes, my own goal of a world record deadlift currently is to chase something that's the heaviest world record deadlift right now for my body weight is 718 pounds. In the international federation, the biggest federation there is IPF, and it's currently 718 pounds. In a smaller federation, I think the second biggest one is IPL, which is 622 pounds right now. So I'm closer to that.
Yeah.
Than closer to that right now.
You're like kissing the door, man.
Yeah. But the real goal is to say I did something internationally, with the most countries involved, which is IPF, and that's 718. That's down the line. But we're gonna tackle that 622 pretty soon for sure. This year. This is the year. The year.
That's amazing.
But for anyone starting out, I would tell you if your goal is not anywhere near to deadlift 700 pounds or 650 pounds, I'll tell you right now, Amir lifting 555 pounds, that's an abnormal level of strength. So Amir, you're fucking strong already. All right, sorry.
No, you do. Go ahead. Gets the E rating on iTunes.
We're talking about levels of strength that only maybe the 1% of the world. There's billions of people in the world. We're in the 1% that could do this, and Amir is one of them. 550 pounds. Come on, that's a respectable deadlift. Now, if you want, for someone just starting out, where it's zero experience and they can barely lift, and that number, 700 pounds, 550 pounds, whatever, that's an intimidating number. But your goal you should always set your goal first. Like you should set that goal of like, oh, I wanna be stronger, right? Now, in strength training, the beautiful thing about it is, and I compare strength training to like life itself, how you handle things in your life. So with strength training goals, like if you want to lift your body weight and deadlift, that's a great landmark to pass first. You just got to start. The number one thing is you just got to start. Next, be prepared to mess up a lot. But when you accept that you're going to mess up a lot along your journey in whatever your goal is in strength training, it's going to be easier for you to get back on, because you already know you're going to mess up. The hardest thing is to get back up on your feet. So it takes a lot of patience, because it's going to take a lot of time to achieve things. I've been lifting for over 13 years now, been competing only for 2 years, but that's how long it takes to be at this level. And I know, Amir, you've been lifting too. That's why you have your deadlift over 500 pounds.
Yeah.
That's
you
why.
Put in that work.
It's just exactly, you got to put in the work, but know that you're gonna mess up. But just like everyone knows, or everyone should know, it's about getting back on it, and then it will take a lot of time. So you have to be patient.
Yeah, we were just talking about that right before we started, right? Like, hey, I took some time off the last couple months, and now I'm ready to get back on the grind and hit 600, baby.
That's what it's all about, man. And then once you reach that level, every level of strength, it's like it opens new doors for you. Like when I first hit 600 pounds, like last year, just last July, I did that, July 2017. Everything else like started feeling so light. So like you reach this, like you level up. Like, oh man, you hit 600 pounds, you're on a new mindset. So everything else becomes easier. You just got to keep working at it. And I'm telling you guys, the light at the end of the tunnel, once you reach it, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. So keep on the path. That's the biggest thing I can say.
That's awesome. And what my next question would actually go right into that is like, hey, over the years, 13 years is a long time, and I understand because, lifting the weight that I lift and training martial arts, it's like, hey, that path to, let's say right now you're at that black belt level of lifting, that took you 12 years to get to, where now you're only a beginner competitive lifter, right? So what do you think allows you to focus and stay focused to maybe stay at that next level? Because a lot of times you see people will, and you're a coach, so you see this person will come in, they'll start on fire, they'll lose all this weight, and all of a sudden that fire starts to dwindle down and they gain back all that weight, or they're not as aggressive as they were when they first started. So hey, like going for a world record, that's gonna require a ton of mindset to never quit. What do you think is 3 things that allow you to stay focused on something like a goal like that?
Number one, for sure. I love this question, by the way, because I get asked this all the time. Because lifting for over 13 years, people go like, man, how do you just stay on it, right? Number one for sure is having clarity. And is it allowed to cuss on this show?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
So number one, having clarity, meaning like you can't ever bullshit yourself. Like if I say that I want a world record deadlift, I'm not BSing. I want a world record deadlift. Nothing's gonna stop me, right? So if whatever goal you have, if you want to lose weight, right? You have to like not bullshit yourself. Like you really do want to lose weight. You don't want to just lose, and you want to lose weight for yourself. So I always have a saying: you can lie to everyone else, but you can't lie to yourself. And once you do lie to yourself, that's when everything just comes tumbling down. That's the thing that I've realized. Like if I say like, I want to deadlift only a little bit of weight. That's BSing myself, because I want to deadlift a shit ton of weight. I want to deadlift a world record. That's
Yeah.
a true goal. That's a true goal. I'm not BSing myself, right? Because anything other than a world record, I'm just bullshitting myself. Number two, to focus on, you just gotta you have to find the right people to be in your corner. That's what's gonna help the most. So once you have your goal and it's not a bullshit goal, it's genuine, it's true. To make it easier for you to achieve your goal, you have to surround yourself with a community, a coach, partners, friends. I have a wife that's even crazier than I am, like more dedicated. She's a bikini bodybuilder and also powerlifts. Like, so she'll do a powerlifting meet and then a big bikini show like 3 months apart, and it's crazy. I actually recently her past bikini show, I flew out to Philippines and I taught a strength workshop in Philippines, and I planned it out perfectly so I wouldn't be at her prep week.
Smart.
She knows it too. I ran away from her because I don't want to be in her prep week because she gets crazy. But she did pretty well. But anyway, so again, don't bullshit yourself. Number two, have the right people around you. I have a coach for my strength programming. That's Jordan. Shout out to Jordan Sayat. He's been taking care of it. I have a nutrition coach, my own partner, which is Rambeer. I have a awesome gym community here at San Jose Barbell that supports me and knows what I do. So again, it's not bullshitting yourself, having a community, and what keeps pushing you on, especially when you don't want to do the work, is when you tell people your goal, when you're open about it, because then now you're accountable. Like, hey, I'm gonna pull a world record deadlift. You already know, right?
You just told everyone on the experience, brother.
I just told everyone. So now everyone's expecting like, man, either I'm gonna get haters like, he's never gonna do that, it's impossible, or there's gonna be people that support you. And I'm hoping it's the people that support me that come out of the woodwork, and say
Absolutely.
what's up. That's what means a lot. That's what I'm grateful for, and it's very powerful. That is very powerful. Like the Training for Warrior community, man. You can't find a better community than that.
Absolutely.
It's like
That's
amazing.
how this relationship was formed,
Exactly. So again, those three things summarized. Don't bullshit yourself. Have a genuine goal. Number two, surround yourself with the right people, the right people in your corner. And number three, tell people or tell everyone and everything your goal so that you stay accountable.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, that's a huge, I think, reason why you're doing so well, because of the surroundings you created for yourself. And that's why, I love the enthusiasm and the goals and the mindset, because you're allowing yourself to do that. Like, you're
Exactly.
creating the environment to do that. And I think a lot of people don't do that at all. I think
Nope.
they try to make these changes, but they still hold on to things that are holding them back. And
Yeah.
so it's so hard to almost adapt and make those changes that are eventually going to get you towards your goal.
Yeah. Well, you bring up two things. Like, one, people don't know what to do, and two, people are afraid to do it once they know what to do. That's it. People love being comfortable, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, and that's why, again, it's always, and I talk about this with my students, is like figuring out what you have to lose in your life sometimes is better than figuring out what you need to add.
Yep.
So I think
That's an awesome lesson right there.
yeah. It's actually, I'm reading a book that I'll tell you about after, but it's really cool. So, talking about, world records, what do you think separates, there you go, see guys getting into that protein, right? So,
Yeah.
so right into the questions, what do you think separates you as far as mindset and action, to allow you to create the impact that you're creating and, working towards, let's say a deadlift, what kind of mindset do you think separates you from most people that maybe struggle to hold on to a goal?
I love this question too. It's, man, you got some great questions, Amir.
I appreciate it.
I think what you're asking is like, what's my superpower, right?
Yeah.
I would say I pride myself on the fact that people tell me this thing. Actually, one of my closest friends from high school wrote me this birthday card, and it stuck with me, and it made me realize something. On the birthday card, I believe, man, that's like 10 years ago, and I still have this birthday card. She said to me, like, Aljay, happy birthday. One of the reasons why we love you so much is you are one of the rarest type of people that in which you find something that you're interested in, you just squeeze everything out of it until you're done. Like, you just squeeze everything out of it. So when I have a goal, when I want to achieve something, I just put my head down and I get to it, no matter what, until I'm done. So the hardest thing that people do is, like I said before, people don't know what to do, and then when they do know what to do, they're afraid to do it. One, I seek the answers for, like, hey, how can I do this? Like, you know, I seek the coach. I seeked out a coach, which is Jordan Sayat. And it took me a while. It took me 12 years or 10 years, 11 years to find a coach. Like, to finally, like, sit down and be like, I'm going to hire a coach. It took me that long to decide. And then once I had a coach, they just tell me what to do, and I just do it, no questions asked. And they tell me to do it Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I'll do it. And if they tell me not to do anything else, I won't do anything else. So you just follow it to the T. You know what? The answer is so simple, it's scary. And most people won't do it because it's so simple. But my superpower is just to execute. I can just execute. If you tell me, hey, we got to do this to win the game, show me the game plan, and I will execute it to the T. No question, and just keep going. Right? Obviously, you got to be smart about it. Like, if something isn't working, you'll know. But like in strength training, if you have a coach and you're not getting stronger, obviously there's a problem there, right? So that's why it goes all hand in hand with having the right people in your corner, and then just executing. And executing is very difficult to do because you got to trust the process. So I think my superpower is just executing. Another example is, when I read a book, it's very dangerous for me to read a book, because when I read a book, I read it once from the first page to the last page, and then I just put it into effect immediately. Some people, they have to read the book multiple times. Sometimes they forget what's in the book, but man, I don't know. I think my head is just wired that way. I just digest.
Same, man. Absolutely.
And I just do it.
I
so
think.
It's like,
yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. No, that's it. That's one of the superpowers that I have, and I didn't realize that I had that until people around me were telling me that. Even my own business partner told me that.
I'm going to tell you something that this is like exactly what I was talking about with my students. Same type of mindset is what you were talking about. Is people are afraid to fail. See,
yep.
I think people like you, I think like myself, is that we're just not afraid to fail. And when you talk about squeezing that girl saying squeezing everything out of her, because you're not afraid to fail, so you go all in, because what's the worst that's going to happen? You're going to be exactly where you were anyway, right?
Damn right.
So
damn right.
If you're going to get some advice from your coach, just go all in, do what he says. If you have a nutrition coach and he's telling you this is what you need to be doing, go all in, do it, follow the plan, because what's the worst that's going to happen? You're going to be where you were. We're not going into fighting crime, or, we're not going to war here.
Yep.
So I think that's the superpower, man, is that you're not afraid to fail. And so
both of us.
Yeah.
Both of us.
And exactly. And again, that's why we do what we do. But what I want to know is the next question. Hey, how do you think that impacts your friends, your students, your wife, your parents, people around you?
That's interesting, because it goes one of two ways. It's either because we're so all in, we're so like all encompassing and like head down, get into it, that it's like either people like you or people don't like you, because you either intimidate them, and then they're like, oh, I can't do that, because they are afraid of you, because they're afraid of what they could do. And then there's also people that just gravitate towards you. And that's who I focus my energy on. That's why I don't change and I keep doing what I'm doing, because those are the people that I care about. The people that gravitate towards me because they want to succeed. They're seeking what I'm seeking, or a piece of it, right? I want a world record deadlift. People want a piece of that, meaning they just want to be a little bit stronger. So, and I'm down for that. I'm not selfish. That's why I opened a gym, man. That I want to attract those people. So, unfortunately, it goes both ways. Like, it can either go bad or good, but I focus on the good. Bad meaning like there are people that don't like that and it turned off is a little too much. Well, hey, you know what? I respect that. Unfortunately, I'm not going to make everyone happy. But I promise the people that are around me, that gravitate towards me, that appeal to how I am, man, I will give you guys the world. That's why I started a powerlifting team. I started a powerlifting group here at my own gym. And every time we go to a meet, it's beautiful, man. We have like 20 people going to a competition all the time. It's all fun. It's all fun.
That's awesome. See, again, talk about community we talked about earlier, and the importance of it. And surrounding yourself with people that are going to drive you forward instead of pulling you down. So when it comes to your technique, because I want to talk deadlift a little bit.
All right.
What are your some of your favorite things to focus on? You can give me 3 things. You can go through maybe some things you like to prepare yourself, or tell the people, like, what goes through the mind of someone who's going for a world record when they're going through the lift itself.
Okay, I'll tell you this right now. This is like the last time I pulled 600 pounds, which was the first time I pulled 600 pounds, which, by the way, I was growing up, I was 115 pounds. I was a 115-pound kid, cross-country endurance runner, growing up all the way up until I was 19. So the wind could blow me. So if you told me at age 19 that someday in my life I would lift 600 pounds, I'd be like, nah, you're fucking crazy. No way in the world. I could barely lift 100 pounds off my chest on a bench press. In fact, when I went to the gym for the first time, age 19, I put a plate on each side of a barbell, not knowing what I'm doing, and I did something that I thought everyone did, which was bench press. And I got stuck on my chest. I could barely come off my chest, man. And then the next day, I went back only early in the morning so that I would avoid all the people that saw me. That's what happened. So if you told me like I could lift 600 pounds someday in my life, I would be like, get the hell out of here. No way. So knowing that, back in July at the national championships, when I first pulled 600 pounds, right before I took the platform in a powerlifting meet, I called one person, and I called my business partner, Ranbir, my dear friend, my good friend and brother, Ranbir. And I called him, and he's like, hey, what's up, man? Aren't you lifting right now? And I was like, dude, I'll tell you right now. Not very many people know about this call, but I called him right before I pulled 600. I said, I'm scared. I'm scared, man. And he's like, what are you scared of? I'm like, man, 600 pounds is a lot of weight. It could break me. It could literally break me. And he said, nah, dude, you got it. You know what? That's all you got to hear. It's so simple. That's all I got to hear. And I was like, you're right. And I hung up. I went up, pulled 600 pounds like it was butter. Like it was butter, man. But getting prepared. You can prepare yourself for that one thing that you're prepared, like you're trying to work towards. Like my one thing is a world record deadlift, and I know when it comes time to pull that or attempt to pull that, I'm going to be scared. So again, you have to accept that fear, accept that fear of failure, right? And just give it your all. Now, there are other things that I do, like make sure you don't miss workouts. You're consistent, right? You have to put in the work. You got to train in line with how you want, like what you want to achieve. You got to train with what you want to achieve. Like for me, on a world record deadlift, something that no one has ever done before. So I got to train like no one has done before. That's it. That's really it. And I got to train the longer than anyone else because no one has ever done that. So there's no shortcuts. I know you asked if, like, what do you do to prepare, but there are really no shortcuts. You got to just put in the work and then trust that you did the work. And then once it comes to test it and claim your victory, it's pass or fail, baby.
Yeah,
pass or fail.
I agree. And I think that actually you answered it best. It really is, that mindset. And I'll shout out Rich Sadiv on here. He was the first ever guest on The Experience.
Human Crane!
Yeah, like you have to have this mindset of you're like going to war, you're going to battle, it could break you, or you break it.
Damn
And that consistency, that preparation, and attacking the bar over and over and over, I think is what I think best suits that answer. I think what you said is like that mindset that you've created, that like, hey, it's like war, man, right?
Yeah, it is. It is. It definitely is. It's a war in your mind, and that's the hardest war you'll ever fight is in your mind, dude.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll tell you, like, perfect example, man. First time I pulled 400, I pulled 375 for a triple right before that, because I was hitting triples and I just felt really good. And Rob was like, "Yo, go for 400," and I went for it, and I didn't get it. And he's like, "No, try it again. You're gonna rest. You're gonna try it again." And we ended up putting up 410 on the bar that day. So like, I just went back in my head and was like, I got this shit, like nothing's gonna stop me from pulling this right now except me. Yeah. So I think once you start to learn that, I think that's when those changes, those kinds of lifts can happen.
Yeah. So there's like I said, we're at abnormal levels of strength, like a 550 pound deadlift, 600 pound deadlift. Those are abnormal levels of strength. Again, in like less than 1% of the world has that. So once you get to that level of strength, then it's also about training your mindset, like what you're just talking about. Like you have to wrap your mind on the fact that you're gonna lift this thing or achieve something impossible. You have to make it possible in your mind. So I do something in training, actually, and my students think I'm crazy for doing this, but it works for me. It may not work for everyone, but it works for me. It's how I train my mind as well, especially closer to the meet. When I feel like it's heavy, like, oh man, let's say like 500 pounds. I can lift 500 pounds any day. So if I feel like 500 pounds is heavy and it doesn't come off the floor one day, because that's like 3 times body weight already for me. So I always lift 3 times body weight in training, which is ridiculous.
Excuse me.
Which is ridiculous to wrap my head around at times still.
It's crazy,
but that's
man.
where I'm at. But you got to train, again, when you get to that level, you got to train your mind to be like, hey, it's just an everyday thing now. But then there's still some times where you're like, oh man, it is heavy. So what I do to literally hack my mind is I put more weight on. I put more weight on, like 5 or 10 more pounds, and then I hit it flawlessly. It's just because you have to win that battle. It's like putting yourself in the corner, and you have to fight for your life when you train. And sometimes it has to get to that point, especially, at that level of hitting a world record deadlift someday. You got to get used to that. So It's like, again, train the mind. There's little mind hacks that I do just like that. Also visualization. I visualized in my head before I even lifted 600 pounds that I lifted it off the ground before I touched the bar. It's all that. It's all there.
Nice. That's awesome, man. I can't wait to see you hit the world record, because I know you're gonna do it.
Thanks, man. Thank you.
That was gonna go into my next question, which is, what are your greatest achievements? But we're gonna save that for the next time you're on the podcast, after you hit the world record. So we're gonna cut. We got a couple more questions, and then.
Yeah.
But man, really appreciate all the awesome energy and information you're laying for people today.
Dude, this is fun.
Yeah, it's good stuff. I really appreciate it. So, who are some people? Let's go with who are 3 people that have influenced you to where you are, and maybe where heading towards the world record? Who are three people
Yeah.
that have pushed you there?
Man, okay. There's a long list of people, but narrowing it down to three people is tough. The person at the people at the top of the list for sure are my parents. Like, man, I wouldn't be the person that I am now without my dad or my mom pushing me to where I'm at, the level I'm at. Like, they could have not supported my dreams of opening a gym or of being competitive in powerlifting, but they've been more than supportive. They tell all their friends and everything. So that, I'm so grateful for that, to have the support of my parents, my family, for sure. Number 2 on my list, I know my wife is going to get mad at me for not naming her, but...
She's a given. She's a given.
She's a given. Thank you. Thanks, Amir. Thanks. So, wife, if you're listening to this, you're a given already. So you're already on the list automatically.
Yeah.
Cool. Number 2 is definitely my brother, my business partner. I've talked about him already. Ranbir Sanghera. He's like the opposite of me. So I say, like, I have, if I get one idea and I stick to it forever, he has multiple ideas and he'll stick with every single one as long as he can. So we complement each other in our business, which I've begun to realize that partnerships are very difficult to find, like successful ones, especially in businesses. Like, getting married to someone is hard enough, right? Finding that one person to get married to. Finding a business partner and someone that complements you very well and running a business very well. We've been running our San Jose barbell facility for over 5 years now. We're doing pretty good. It's been great. It's been a great journey so far, and we're not going to stop. So I'm very appreciative of him. He's the one that led me to a lot of decisions in my life. So I can't thank that guy enough, man. He also led me to the next person on the list, my third person, which is my coach, Jordan Sayat. Without him, without someone to be your compass in anything, right? A compass is very important. Without it, you'd be lost. I don't think I'd be this close to tapping into the strength that I have. So his strength training methodology is something that I've learned as a gym owner, coach as well, to implement to my own students. So it's been valuable to my training and to other students' training. So all of these people, my parents, Ranbir, Jordan, they've all compounded into my mind and my knowledge, in which I'm trying to present to the world as well and distribute to the world on their behalf, because of how grateful I am to them, and that's how I pay it forward. So without those people in my corner, man, I don't think I'd be here right now running this facility or even thinking of a world record deadlift.
That's awesome, man. I mean, it's shaped you into a great person, and like, as far as mindset wise, I think that's what really attracts people to you, is that you're not just saying it, but you're really taking the actions on a daily basis, not once in a while. If I follow you and I see what you're doing, so
Thank you.
That motivates me. Like, I see what you're doing, I'm like, oh dude, this guy is, and I'm not going for a world record, or I'm not even trying to compete at that level, but I'm trying to be better. And I think when you surround yourself with people like that, when you create the energy that you create, it allows for you to surround yourself with people like that. And then I think that's what breeds the success that you're having.
Yeah, for sure.
So awesome.
And thank you, man. Thanks for saying that. I'm glad that in some way I inspire you.
Absolutely.
Thanks, man. That really means a lot to me, because when I think about it, when I compete in like the national level, I see these guys that I compete against. They're cutting. These guys are cutting from like 200 pounds, 180 pounds to my weight class, which is 165. I don't cut.
Yeah.
I'm at my weight class. I just go. And then, I'm right now, I'm on a diet. I'm on a calorie deficit to see my abs for the summer. But I could care less. It's all about performance for me. And man, these guys are killing themselves to get to my weight class. And I'm like, man, you guys are doing it all wrong. You guys are, it's crazy. But these guys are huge. These guys are huge, man. And so I think of myself like, man, you don't got to be that big, or people have this misconception like, oh, you got to be like super, super huge, like this hulking beast to lift a world record deadlift, to lift 700 pounds. And if you see me in competition, I'm the littlest dude.
Yeah.
And then people just, the feeling that I get when I'm on that platform, I know it. Like, it's all, every time I come to the deadlift platform, I would love for you to see me on a competition, man. When I step up and the bar is loaded, the crowd is quiet. It's silent. And I know what they're thinking. They're going like, there's no way. There's no way this small dude could lift this. And that's why, like what Rich Sadiv says, you either fail or you do it. It either breaks you or you break it.
Yeah.
And I know that's what I love seeing as well in other lifters and other people. And that's why, and then again, it fuels me to keep doing what I do.
That's awesome, man. So
in essence, I do it for you, man. I do it for you.
Yeah, dude. Hey, I show it off to my students all the time. You know, I love to show that, hey, you don't have to be, because I think they get this, you know, look, I'm 6'2", 215 pounds. I'm pretty strong for my size.
Yeah,
you know,
I wouldn't mess with you.
No,
I wouldn't mess with you, bro.
Yeah, so they think it comes easy. You know, they don't realize that, hey, I was overweight. I put in the work. You got to put in the work. And so I want to show them, hey, it doesn't matter. Strength comes in all sizes, shapes, colors, whatever. If you're willing to do the work. And not only am I not even that strong, like I'm not even close to as strong as someone like you. And so I want to show them that, hey, it's not because I'm so big, I'm so strong. It's because I'm doing the work that I need to do to get the results that I want.
Yep.
And I think you're doing that on such a high level, man. And that's why I have no doubt that we're going to see that world record happen.
I can't wait.
So
I'm gonna shout you out when I do it, too.
Oh, man. You don't have to do all that, but I appreciate it. So what are some things you're working on? Where can people find you? And let us know. When are we going for that world record? What is timeline? 5-year, 3-year?
So the timeline for the world record, it can take 10 years. I don't really care. I'm focused on the journey. I'm focused on just getting stronger.
Good answer.
And when it comes, when you focus on the journey or just getting stronger, your destination, the time that you arrive at your destination doesn't matter, because it's inevitable. It will just come. You just don't know it, but it will, as long as you just hunker down and do the work. But what I've been working on, awesome. All right. I'm on Instagram and Twitter. You can find me. I am Deadlift. Very simple. Again, that's my number one goal. No bullshit. My goal is to get a world record deadlift. So I am Deadlift. You can find me there. You can find me on my Facebook with my first initial last name, A. Resngit, or just search me, Aljay Resngit. And this is exciting. I've started recently a YouTube channel.
Nice.
And yeah, it's
I'm gonna look that up.
Because people ask me, hey Aljay, what do you do for? How are you so strong? What do? You must be working out 7 days a week, two times a day. You know, there's people out there that actually think that I lift twice a day, 7 times a week to be at this level, and I'm like, hell no, hell no. I work out 3 to 4 times a week, 4 times a week at most.
Yeah.
And on the other days, I rest and I enjoy my life, married to my wife with my family. So I put everything there on YouTube, like my training journal, my training log. I put a little fun into it so you can see the amazing community we have at San Jose Barbell, and to show that I'm just a regular dude trying to find a way to make a world record deadlift happen. That's it. That's me. So find me on youtube.com/game time.
Awesome. I'm definitely going to hit that up. Guys, if you haven't already figured out, this guy is going places, and I would highly recommend trying to attract as much energy off of this guy as you can, because that's what I'm trying to do. Aljay, dude, thank you so much. I can't tell you how much I appreciate it. So
dude,
guys, That was another awesome episode. Stay tuned. We got more episodes with more great guests. We'll see you soon.